Chris Holds, Beckett Baseball here. Got a little something from the card shop in the junk wax category, although I don't recall, or I don't personally classify this as a junk set, except for perhaps just the price tag these days. Box of 1991 Topps. Now, I've done a ripping retail retro in this one before, and if you remember that video, which a lot of people might, or some of you might, because I pulled a very weird card out of a box. I pulled a 1970 Topps Common, part of this million card or every card in existence giveaway for the 40th anniversary back in the day. Now this box is definitely old, 1991, do the math. What's interesting is it's wrapped in cellophane, and that wasn't really the norm back then, that I recall. And it's got the box bottom cards, which are surprisingly in very good shape. The Georgia Brett's got a little bit of a crease going on, but I figured I'd rip it just for the heck of it, see what I find. There is one card in here that is very, very rare and very expensive. Go look him up. Mark Whitten. There's an error where his hand is popping out of the logo or popping out of the border, and it routinely sells for $100. So this box being $7.50, I figured I'd give it a shot. Yes, odds are I will not find that card in here, but if I do, I figured it'd be fun to do it on camera. So there are 36 packs in the box, one stick of gum, and probably one damaged card per box. These look pretty clean, and I'm just going to show some highlights here. This is literally a junk wax purchase, $7.50. I'll try to point out errors when I notice them. Highlight in the first pack is if you're a Tigers collector, dual Allen Trammels, all-star base card. However, one of them has suffered the almighty wax stain. So, not a big money card there, but it's a start, right? The Mark Whitten card literally books, I believe, for $150. Not an easy variation to pull. I would show a lot of these, but I'm going to only show the best names. So that second pack, painful. Obviously, 1991 Topps is the home of Chipper Jones. This being a fresh box that's not mixed, and surprisingly, so far, is pretty clean. Here's an epic player, 1991, Kevin Moss. If you were around then, you know how big of a deal he was. But Chipper Jones is the key rookie card here. It's kind of a this clean wax is the grading worthy time. It's the time. This is the kind of place where you can find grade worthy copies, without being cherry picked. So Bobby Bonilla, Jeff Treadway, Keith Comstock. So this is an error for sure. This is one of the more interesting errors. Keith Comstock is shown as a Cub on the logo, but his hat is clearly a Seattle Mariner. Now, I don't recall if the error or the correction is rarer in this instance. However, it's an interesting one to find. Chris Hoyles. There's an error on this card somewhere. Not that I think any of you probably care that much, but it's out there. There's lots of small errors in this one. If we pull the standard Mark Whitten, I will show you or try to describe how it works, how the variation works. Not much going on in pack 2 unless you think Larry Cassani is a big deal. Remember, there are 36 packs, so this could take a while. I'm going to try not to mangle any of my grade-worthy cards, and honestly, these are very clean packs, very clean cards. Here's one of the notable newcomers in the set, George Kenneth Griffey Jr. Other than slightly off-centered, it's got 4 pretty sharp corners. I'm kind of getting the need on some grading for old school stuff. I've been buying cheap wax boxes here and there just to pick off the single cards. Sets, factory sets, if they have bonus cards in them. Those are places to find clean specimens for grading. You just got to kind of hope the centering gods and the printing spot demons aren't there. Got to kind of just hope you get lucky. But You know, if you buy a factory set of 91 Topps, probably won't cost you much more than the $750 that I paid, but you'll get every card too. Benito Santiago with a photograph that had been used on the cover of Sports Illustrated back in the day. There are some really notable, or relatively notable, photographs in this one. Pedro Guerrero, Ken Williams, Travis Fryman on the back of this pack. Ben McDonald, big deal back in the day. Obviously off-centered in this case. Andres Galarraga. Another fun card from back in the day. Robin Ventura in his early 1900s White Sox uniform. Mark Lemke. The aforementioned Travis Fryman. About a fourth of the way through the box, so you can see how this will take a while. I'm literally not going to show you guys anything but the better cards, which means a lot of you won't be tuning in. There are no autographs or mem in these years. The original price of these packs is 50 cents. Ricky Love Ricky. But there are throwback cards. They literally inserted vintage Topps cards from almost every year into packs. And I pulled a 1970 common from a box of these back in the day, and frankly, you never know, you know. Could be surprised in any pack, you never know. Obviously, there's not any autographs, so most people let this sit to grow hair or something as the other boxes get torn up at the card shop. But, you know, some simpler chases are in here too. Felix Jose, Bud Harrelson, Carlton Fisk. Should have shown the Fisk, but on to the next pack. Obviously, there's gum in every pack. Wouldn't recommend touching it. John Olerud was a big deal back then. Here's a player who has a variation. Efrain Valdez, and see the spacing at the top and the bottom, they added a trivia blurb to hit the back of his card. Not a substantial variation, obviously, but one of those that's out there for the diehards. And there are some diehards on this one. 91 Topps is the 40th anniversary of the set, so it's got a little bit classier design for a standard Topps set of the era. 1990 was a crazy, colorful, trying to be too cool kind of set. 91's more of a classy approach, a simpler, cleaner approach, more anniversary feeling approach to a baseball card set. Not much going on in here, man. Oof. Dave Justice, the Rookie Cup card. Cleanly centered. A little bit of an edge lift in a couple card zits that are tiny, but probably still would grade pretty well if I chose to. I said it had a couple card zits. It had one. It might not even be a card zit, probably just a surface. Not a perfect surface. But my hard-hitting Mark Whitten's coming. Eddie Murray. Sammy Sosa in his throwback uniform. Dwight Gooden, Mark Lee. Almost halfway through the box. I'm actually probably not going to trim any parts of this out, so it'll be kind of a rambling video, but that's all right with the diehards out there. A lot of you guys saw me at the National, said you wanted more videos, so I'll try it here. John Smoltz, a little off-centered, unfortunately. Carl Everett, #1 draft pick of the Yankees. The #1 draft pick I hope to find is the #1 overall pick, Larry Wayne Jones Jr., a.k.a. Chipper. Here's a fun card coming up. Oral Hershiser. One of the nicer cards in the set. This is a pretty clean specimen. Frank Thomas. It's a nice card. Second year card for him. So far, no Mark Whitten, no vintage buyback cards. Darn it. Once you pull one, you want to pull them every time. So, Mike Stanley, Delino DeShields, Tony Castillo, Chris Gwynn. Wow. All right. How about another Keith Comstock error card? Same box, sealed all these years, 2 errors. Also another Ricky. Just starting the halfway point of the box. I'm using the box itself to hold all the gum and the wrappers for now. If I choose to keep the box panel, the bottom panel, I'll have to figure things out here. but I just want to find a hard-hitting Mark Whitten for you guys. George Brett Record Breaker. This is not an expensive set at all. In fact, it's, $7.50 for a box might be too expensive, but it's just about, a simpler, fun rip. Maybe something for new guys to have some fun with, learn about guys like Paul Molitor, who've since gone on to the Hall of Fame. Eric Davis, Fred McGriff, Pat Borders, Tim Leary. With this box being a cello wrapped box, there's zero chance of it being repacked. These were, I don't think every box was cello wrapped, just certain chains, boxes. Here's a Barry Bonds back in his skinny days. And that's a cleanly printed card. That would be grading worthy in my book. Not that it's a money card, but a perfect 10 of a card like that, somebody out there might be chasing. I mean, I'm a kind of a dork for grading now, so 2 packs in a row, 2 highly gradable Barry Bonds cards in a row, along with a Dave Magadan for my Crimson Tide collection. Look him up, 1984 College World Series. They lost to a guy named Roger Clemens. Hope he wasn't cheating. Lee Smith, Joe Klink, Jeff Ballard, Rick Mailer, Jim Leland, Rich Garces. Next pack. Ooh, now there's a highlight for you. Forgot about this one, although I shouldn't have. Ozzie Canseco rookie card. Well, no, actually not a rookie card. I think it's his first Topps card. He had 89 Upper Deck cards, I believe. So Frank Viola, Randy Milligan. No hard-hitting Mark Whitten. Yes, I've been stealing his ESPN earned nickname here. Let's see. Craig Lefferts, Otis Nixon, Bob Welch, Barry Larkin, Tommy Gregg, Doug Drabick, Dennis Cook. The smell of the wax and the old cardboard combined with the bubble gum is not nauseating, but certainly a unique smell that can't be replicated these days. Kirk Gibson back in his Dodgers days. These are very clean cards for the time from Topps. They were just getting toward this. They're getting toward the higher caliber stock. This is the last year for standard gray stock. They switched over in '92 to bright white stock with colored fronts and backs. So, the wax paper is still here. It'll be gone the year after this. But bubblegum remains, even to this day. Tino Martinez, as I meant to say. Jeff Robinson, Corey Snyder. Not a single Nolan Ryan in this box, which is interesting because it's probably been sitting in Dallas-Fort Worth here for 25 years. All right, next pack. Jeff Torborg, Hector Villanueva, Johnny Ray, Jeff Leland again, Dave Martinez, Mike Marshall. Come on, big ones. It'd be nice to pull Larry. Oh, my foot's falling asleep too. Hey, how about a Bobby Cox? I asked for Chipper Jones, I get Bobby Cox. It's a clean card though. Gradable, I'm telling you. Chris Sabo, Bob Welch again. Getting some dupes. I'm feeling bad about the collation here, even though it was a box that had a seal and had promise on the shelf when it was $7.50. Don Zimmer. Got to show off Don Zimmer. Joe McGrain, Mike Perez, Robin Yount, Eric Anthony was a big deal back then. Randy Bush, not a big deal back then. But his mom may have wanted his card. Come on, big one. Kevin Apier, David Cohn, John Franco, Jamie Quirk. How about Will Clark? Pretty clean. And Cecil Fielder, who came back with a bang, 51 homers in 1990. First guy to hit 50 homers since George Foster in like 77. So the forebearer of the home run barrage in the years to come. Mike Scott. I haven't even pulled a Canseco or McGuire yet either. Man, top 792 cards, and there should be a bunch of stuff in here yet. I don't have a bunch of stuff in here. That's sad. Lonnie Smith, Mike Devereaux, Mike Stanton. All these Braves. 2 packs and no Chipper. 2 packs, no Mark Whitten. Bummer. Watch I pull one with a wax stain on it or something. Or not at all. Randy Johnson, one of the newest Hall of Famers. A little off-centered on that one. Here we go. Hard-hitting Mark Whitten. This is not the rare version. See how his hand pops up into the border there? On the $150 version, his hand pops out across into the white. So Mark Whitten, this is not the money card. You could have the money card sitting in a box, in a nickel box, a junk box, and not even realize it. That's the power of errors and variations. Here's a Jose Canseco just to make my 12-year-old self happy. And my final pack, let's hope for Larry Wayne Jones. Not greedy. Oscar Azocar. Palmeiro. One of the nicer photographs in this set. Wade Boggs. Dale Murphy, Juan Samuel. Mike Scioscia. Dave Winfield. Final card, final pack. Tim Naring. So, no Chipper. Ooh. Oddly, that gum wasn't brittle, it was soft. It must be because it's 110 degrees outside. So, yeah. So that was a box of 1991 Topps. I didn't find it Larry, unfortunately. Thankfully, it was only a $7.50 box. The O-Pee-Chee version of these boxes are really pricey, like $90 a box online if you can find them. Larry's card there is pretty solid too. So, let me know what you think of the retro video. Tell me if you want to see more or less. I didn't show you a lot of cards, but then again, this wasn't the greatest box of 91 Topps. And that's a sad thing, really. So, until next time, Chris Olds, Beckett Baseball. Just keep ripping.